Today we're making some liquid body wash. In the big bucket I have some boiling water. I just pulled it off the stove, but it was at a rolling boil. And in the small pot I have some liquid and solid surfactants. These are very gentle surfactants to cleanse. So because this is quite viscous, I don't want to just pour all the water in there and then have clumps I have to work out. So I have a sanitized cup. And, ooh, I almost forgot to show you something else. In this cup, I have our glycerin, our fragrance, our preservative, and a tiny bit of color. I might add more color to that, we'll see. So what I'm going to do is take some of the water and start whisking it into here. And this is how I'm going to incorporate it, just kind of like when you're making a gravy. You know, if you've ever made a gravy on the stovetop with a roux, you start off with your slurry and then you slowly add your liquids. And this is kind of the same premises here because I have a very viscous, thick, you can see, I don't know if the bubbles are coming up on camera, but I have bubbles floating around. And this will create a lot of bubbles that will have to rise up out of the soap. That'll happen while it's cooling, and then when we bottle it, but it's okay. By the time it's shipped to the customer, the bubbles are about all gone. And we're actually close to adding a lot more water, but this just keeps from having big clumps that you have to work out. And it's a lot less work if you do it like this. At least for me, I find. Okay, that's quite liquid now. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in the big pot of water. And I'm going to stop using the whisk now. That way I incorporate less bubbles. And the thing is about the shower gel, I prefer our bar soap. It's all natural ingredients. Now, natural can be subjective. That is not a regulated term, but it's oils and lye, which is naturally occurring. And then fragrance, and fragrance is, a lot of times it's a blend or made from essential oils, essential waters, steam distillations, things of that nature. Sometimes they're synthetic. Okay, I think that's about all I can get out of there. And the colorants that we use in our soaps are the same things that they use to make like eyeshadows and blushes and things from. They're just mineral powders and mineral oxides. Okay, we are at a temperature now where it's safe to add the remainder of our mixture here. And again, this is glycerin. There's a preservative in here, a little bit of color, and the fragrance. So now we're just going to mix that to incorporate. And this is the big challenge of making liquid soap, is trying not to get a ton of bubbles mixed up. And now I need to test the pH. So I'm going to dip the paper in and see where we're at. And you can see that it's between a 5 and a 6, which is where you want a body wash. The only thing I'll need to add as it cools is a little bit of salt. Okay, now it's time to bottle. As you can see, the mixture has quite a bit of bubbles in it. Okay, the bubbles will rise to the top and pop. So we're going to have to fill some of the bottle, let it settle, let the bubbles settle, and then put some more in there. So I'll show you here. Okay, move this to the side. And now you can see, let me stick a cap on here so I can turn the bottle without spilling. As you can see, looks real foamy, and it's just the bubbles that are in there. But the bubbles are also taking up space, so we have to pour this, let it settle, and then, you know, go back and make sure it's filled to the top. But that is our lavender martini body wash. These have had time to settle. I'll show you now. I still have a few bubbles. But that is our, I hope this is coming up better on film than it is on my little screen here. That's the color. It's kind of a very light lavender. And a lot of the bubbles have settled. There's still a few in there. But I have just a little bit left in here and some warm water in my bowl. So I'll show you how this lathers up even without a loofah. A little bit. Hands here. So you can see with just a little bit I get a nice lather. Now on the loofah this will do even better. So these bottles will be included in our January subscription box for our Clean Couture box. I'll leave that link down below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.